stasis fields available to him, so he can, you know, trap tanks and what kind of thing. And especially this mid-game sort of situation, I guess you might call it late mid-game sort of thing, when there's not a ton of tanks. You know, when there's like 30 tanks, well, that's just disgusting anyways, when there's 30 tanks, but you know, when there's tons and tons of tanks, if you stasis a few, it's okay. And there was a lot of stuff out there that could try and stop your stasis, but at this point, this first Arbiter is really going to be very dangerous, because he's going to be able to stasis, you know, like a third of the army if he clumps up his tanks. Now it looks like really is actually going to just do a slow push out, just secure that third base, have a really long tank line, and he's not going to actually go for any kind of a push just yet. He's probably going to wait till he's maxed. He may wait for an upgrade timing attack, and is that that's a third army, and what the heck is that? That disco dancing SCV was going crazy up there. Anyway, he's got a third army. I wonder if he's upgrading. It could be a mistake, but I wonder if he's actually going to decide to upgrade like air weapons as well. That doesn't make any sense, actually. I don't know why he would do that. It might be just a mistake to have that third armory. Anyway, vultures running around the middle of the map. He's pretty secure right now. When you do have those vultures running around, I mean, that's pretty crucial to harass like that, to run vultures around the map. Try and kill probes, try and set up mines so you can kill off units later on in the game, force the Protoss to keep running around his dragoons, keep clearing out mines, and eventually can get some kills. But here's, oh wow, nice. It's a really nice placement, protecting that ramp right there, so as soon as units start coming down the ramp, he gets vision of them, he can pick them off. That's actually really good. But what I was thinking is, if you have those vultures out there, sometimes you can spread yourself a little bit too thin if you get too greedy, so that's the disadvantage of that. But it looks as if the positioning that really has is really good, and so he's not spreading himself too thin with this. He does need to be a little bit careful about that big long ridge, and it looks like Horang2 senses that weak spot and is running in. Lots of zealots running, but there's tons and tons of vultures. The vultures have come home to roost, and they absolutely destroying all of those zealots. Nothing getting by to the tanks at all. Half the tanks do get stasis, and this is the thing where he's got a long siege line. Half of his tanks are in his expansions, so there's not enough to really protect. And some are over here as well. They are going to get hit by the second round of zealots, and the dragoons are going to get in close enough to those tanks that they're going to be able to kill them off with half of them stasis. And that's what I was talking about, the power of that early Arbiter. Stasis can do so much damage when there's only 6 tanks there, or 7 tanks or something like that. Stasising 4 of them is huge, and now really is actually running back to this expansion. He's going to have to siege up those tanks now. No, he can't siege them up just yet. The zealots still in the mix. More vultures coming in here, but they're hitting the dragoons instead. The tanks are having to fall back a little bit farther, but they can't really even fall back anywhere else. Horang2 can attack from the other side as well. Tanks going down left and right. Really is in huge trouble here. Huge trouble. Losing all kinds of tanks. Wow, this is really looking... I keep tripping myself up because I keep saying really, not in context of see really, but in really meaning very. I'm just going to start saying very. Alright, so looking very bad for really. Somehow he's managed to fight that off, and he's gotten a few more tanks out in the middle there. He's gotten a bit more of a foothold, and he's actually floated over a command center. He's taken the island base at the 12 o'clock position as well. So actually he may not have floated it. He may have landed an SCV over there since he did have that dropship earlier. Anyway, really is trying very hard to take this middle ramp, because if he does that, he can control all of his expansions. Horang2 going in with another attack, though. Is he going to be able to get these zealots in farther? More vultures. They're falling back and attacking. Doing a very good job of thinning out these zealots, but in the meantime, the dragoons coming in from the back. Stasis on those front tanks as well, which they actually could have killed those tanks off. It might have been better to stasis the back tanks. I'm sorry, just for some reason I noticed that the tank was defense matrix and stasis, and I just cracked up. Anyway, he's really breaching Riley's front. He's very much so breaching Riley's front door here. Zealot's running into this expansion as well. Riley is really on the ropes. He's got to be, he's just fighting desperately to get back into this game and not have all. If he can hold this off, he's got a lot of econ going for him, but he is really in trouble. I gotta stop saying that. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, I'm falling apart right here. That Arbiter is going to go down to those turrets. Some Zealots coming in the back. Really needs to get a lot of Vultures out here and take care of these Zealots pretty quickly. He's starting to lose this infrastructure. That's why he could just hold that high ramp, because he had a lot of infrastructure, a lot of depots and stuff in the way of turrets, keeping anything from attacking that side expansion. Now that's all gone. He's going to float this engineering bay down and to spot, and he actually might want to land that at the base of the ramp to create even more of a blockade once these Zealots are cleaned up. Two Vultures coming in here. More Vultures now. Anyway, he's going to be able to land that base pretty soon, and I just realized that Horang2 hasn't been expanding at all. Whoa, if this were a normal game, I'd say that really was in deep trouble, because I would expect Horang2 to have, you know, 4 or 5 bases at this point, but I just looked down at the map, and Horang2 doesn't have anything. He's mined out on his main. He has 2 bases mining, 2 expansions mining, whereas really, even when that expansion wasn't mining, had 2 other bases mining as well. So he's been in, you know, even without that base doing a lot of good, he's been on okay footing economically, and the whole army just chilling over there, not killing that Vulture. Anyway. So really he's actually in an okay position now that he's fought off the attack, and he's gotten his front door back up again. He needs to be careful of those tanks getting clumped up though, but he's actually in good shape, and he's got that island expansion. He's got that bottom right sort of 3 o'clock expansion back up and running. So now he's actually at 3 bases mining to Horang2's 2, and he's got mines at every expansion at the south end of the map, every single expansion, and that was a little bit silly. Well, I guess wasn't that silly, but I mean, the mine's gonna go off on your Dragoon either way. You don't need to run it out of the way that much. You just suicide it. Anyway, doesn't matter. So Horang2's gonna get another expansion up, but it may be a little bit late, because really is kind of starting to run away. I'm curious what their supplies are right now. Really is macroing off a lot of factories at this point. That is a ton of gateways. I should have noticed there were that many gateways earlier. That meant he wasn't going to be expanding that much. He was just going to be producing masses of units. And yeah, so now really has the lead, and Horang2 has some catching up to do. Oh man, losing so many probes over here as well. Almost every probe at that expansion is going down. Oh, that hurts. Mines. Oh, mine is not going to go off and kill any probes. Anyway, but lots of probes going down, and Horang2 only has 3 nexuses, so it's going to be, well, it's not too difficult for him to actually rebuild, and he's trying to expand like crazy to the bottom left now. 2 expansions going up at once down there. Very smart move. He kind of needs to get back into the game, get more bases up there, and just be harassing. And I wouldn't be surprised if he starts trying to do some recalls, actually. That would be a good move, but not if his Arbiters get picked off by the Goliaths. Oh, and EMP goes off, misses the Arbiter, actually. But still chases the Arbiter off. Anyway, that is a lot of Goliaths. If you can pick off those Arbiters, that is a good idea. Horang2 really needs to start doing some recalls in the back right now. I'm really throwing him off in order to get back into this game. Well, not, yeah, kind of, I don't want to say back into this game, because he's been in the game. Oh, nice stasis. Nice, gets a nice clump of units, but there's not too many Arbiters around. Looks like a couple EMPs went off. Science vessels are in the air, keeping everything uncloaked. It looks like there's no more Arbiters, actually. Somehow he took out all the Arbiters, maybe with a Goliath or something like that, and the Dragoons are not going to be a match for the entire huge tank line. Dragoons, what are you doing? You needed to wait for all those Zealots, and Horang2 GG's and leaves the game. Wow. So C really clutch win, and I was really worried for him there for a while, that the Stars were going to go down 4-0 and I wasn't going to get to see my man Zero play, but holding off attack after attack after attack and just macroing and macroing, and really that's, you know, that's the funnest part of StarCraft. That's the funnest part of the game of StarCraft, is when you're on the ropes and you're desperately trying to throw everything you can at them. Need more units attacking and microing and trying to get as many units out as possible. When you're frantic like that, so much fun. Anyway, so really, pulling it off very well, quite well, incredibly well, really well, and taking the game. So the Stars are not out of the deep end yet, though. They still have to come back and win 3 more games in a row if they're going to take the set. Let's go ahead and move on to game 5 and see if Zero can pull it off against Movie and keep his team in the series. Thanks for watching. GG.